One thing that I learned is that for wherever you go, the first thing that you need to find is not a house, is not to rent a car, is to find a church.
Welcome back to another episode of Life Explored. And with me today, I've got Raphael and Bella. And it's now your last name is
Paula
Di Pola, is
De
it?
Paula, correct?
Baron Di Pola, is that right?
Yes.
Raphael Baron Di Pola. Yeah, okay, I got that right then. And Raf, you are a portfolio manager for Marine Defence.
Correct.
You live here in Rugby in the UK,
Yes.
and you are married to Bella. You are so you also work for the same company?
Yes, at the moment,
yes. Strategic sourcing specialist, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And also living in Rugby, of course. And you have two children as well.
Correct.
So not here with us today. Managed to get some babysitting.
Oh yes, my mother-in-law is at home.
So Raf, you hold you've got a few degrees, is that right? University degrees.
I have a university degrees and 2 masters. So one in project management, which is what I do, right, since I started my career early in 2000s, 2017, 16, 6. And I also have an MBA in renewable energy. That was back in 2016, 17. Yeah.
And am I right in that you've run a few marathons as well? Or you used to be a runner?
Well, a full marathon just once in 2015. This was the Los Angeles Marathon.
Yeah.
For my being lucky, let's say, it was the hottest marathon ever. But I finished in just under 5 hours. And on top of that, of course, that was the full marathon, but I ran many half marathons across a few years. 10K, 15K, 16K, 10 miles, this kind of stuff.
Is that different countries as well, or mainly in Brazil?
No, the only one that I've run, it was this in the US. All the other one, they were in Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah. And Bala, you also have some degrees, don't you? You have masters as well.
Yes, I have a degree back to the 2000 as well in business. So, and I've got a master in business management, both in Brazil. And you mentioned that I'm working the same company of Raphael. It's the first time that I'm going to work in a company living abroad. So it has been a very good experience so far.
Excellent. And you're also a bit of a runner. Is that correct? Yes. You've done a few charity runs.
Kind of. Yeah. You know that Raphael said I used to run, but I didn't run a marathon. But yeah, I used to run 5K, 10K. I think 10K I ran once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Raphael was pushing me every single minute during the don't give up. But I was like, oh, I cannot. Yeah, but it was, I wish this year we go back to run again, because it's a very nice sport to practice.
It's very hard on your body, right? So running, especially on your knees, on your joints, basically. So you need to be well prepared to do that, right? If you just start running, probably at some point you're gonna start have injuries and this kind of stuff. So you really need to look after your body well. So you can't be too much overweight. For me now, I'm like 15 kilos over what I used to be.
Right.
So if I start running now, I'm probably gonna get injured soon.
Right. You look pretty fit though.
Because of work, I traveled a lot.
Yes.
And I remember this, I stopped at some point, but I remember especially in the beginning, every country, every city that I go, I have to do my 5K running or my 10K running just to get to know the city well, because there is no better way for you to actually know a city if you walk by or if you run, right?
Yeah.
I stopped this, I think, when we
Got married.
when we got married.
Different priorities.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you've been to Europe quite a few times, haven't you? You've traveled quite
Oh yes.
a bit around
Well,
Europe.
actually, the first time that I went abroad was here in the UK, and I didn't come just to visit. When I came the first time, I came to London to live here for a year.
Right.
And I lived in London between 2010 2011. So there I studied and I worked. And then after 14 months, I went back to Brazil. After that, I came many times. Again, because of work, I came a few times to France, to other countries. Today that I'm living here, I also travel a lot. So I go a lot to Asia, to be honest, India, and other countries that I can name much because of the nature of my work. But it's good. It's good.
Yeah. And Bella, have you ever travelled to UK before? Is this your first time in UK?
Yeah. My
being
first
married
time
or-
living, working, and knowing UK. I haven't been here before. I think and it's interesting because I have never thought about coming to the UK and, straight to live in the UK. Yeah, I've thought about to come and, like a tourist. Yeah, but it's the first time that I came to the UK. Yeah.
You've been on a couple of trips recently as well, isn't it? Singapore,
Yeah.
Malaysia as well. Was that part of work or was that just a
Was
family holiday?
No, it was part of work.
Yeah.
And we actually lived in Singapore for 1.5
Oh, wow.
years
Before coming here?
before
Yeah.
coming here. We came straight from Singapore to the UK.
Oh,
So we
wow.
didn't even go to Brazil. So my work took us there to Singapore. There was a large contract with a specific client from Singapore, and there was a project for a few years. And then I went there to start the project. And over the course of that project, I had the opportunity to move from Brazil because I was there in Singapore, but not permanently. I know that it was just a project that would have a start and finish date, so we knew that. And so during the course of that, I had the opportunity to come here, but differently from Singapore. This has a starting date, but there's not an ending date, which is different, right? So that gave us a lot of thought.
Yeah.
So we need to think. We had to think a lot about family, because then it's not something that it's just something temporarily.
No.
So it's a more long term,
Yeah.
and involves not only my work and me now. It's Isabella and my children. Now children, especially my oldest, she's at the school age, so we can't keep like moving
No, it's
too
a bit
much.
harder. Yep.
Yeah, of course you can't, but there will be implications, right? So school is something that is really important, education. And if you keep changing schools, I think personally it's not very good for children, right?
And because when we moved to Singapore, for our daughter was a bit difficult for the first 6 months because she was, struggling to settle because of the language. She didn't speak English when we went to Singapore, so for her was like, oh, what I'm doing here, I cannot understand what the people are saying. So, and because I think that she faced this kind of issues, we thought about, we cannot start moving many times because it would implicate on her, emotional and mental health. So,
Yep.
and you mentioned about the trips. I think because we were in Asia, we had lots of opportunities to, travel around, to go to Malaysia, to go to Japan. So was
Thailand. Oh, that was
Thailand,
nice.
yeah. Was, I think that 1.5 years, I think that we have visited 5 countries maybe. So if we were in Brazil, I think that we wouldn't. So yeah, it was really nice.
In this sense, Brazil is far from
Yeah.
from everything, right? You just have South America and, of course, North America. But if you go to North America, it's already 6-8 hours flight. So
Yeah.
because
yeah,
Brazil is huge.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a huge country. Even inside Brazil, you can get a flight for 3-4 hours, right?
Yeah.
In Brazil. So for you to leave Brazil is really
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also when we moved to the UK, we thought about our parents, our family that they are in Brazil. Because, for example, from Brazil to Singapore is almost 27 hours traveling, so it's tough.
Yes.
And from UK to Brazil, it's 10 hours, maybe 10, 11 hours. So it was, much more convenient for us. Yeah.
You have direct flights.
Yeah, direct flights. Yeah.
Have you got other family here in the UK or nearby, or is it all back in Brazil? Are they?
No, our entire family is in Brazil,
Yeah.
apart from us.
Okay.
So.
And they come over and visit.
Yeah.
And they see you.
I think that now it's gonna be easier. Yeah, because in Singapore we just got my mom, and my mother-in-law. But yes, it's difficult. Yeah.
Here, her entire family already.
Yeah, you know. Last year, my entire family came around and they stayed with us for a few weeks, so it was good. Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah. Now you guys I think you proposed in December 2017 and you got married in April 2018.
Yeah, the proposal was quite late, to be honest. I shall say that it was just more a formality, I would say, because before that we already had the plan of getting married and have everything start.
All the supplies.
Yeah, you know, the party and everything was ready by December. So the place and everything else, it was just more formality.
Right. So
and
you were just kind of waiting and wondering.
You have to officialize this, otherwise I will not go to the marriage.
So for you, it was, you know, this guy was traveling around and he's international, you know, kind of project manager, consultant. And for you were just kind of like, he whisked you off your feet and then started taking you, you know, you moved. Where did you go first? So how long were you in Brazil after you got married?
That's a good point, because up to we get to know each other, right? And we get married. We see that our lives were very different in exactly the sense.
Yeah.
Because when I turned 19, I went for college. And let's say that I never got back home. Mm-hmm. So the college was in another city, still in the same state, but 170 kilometers from home. So I used to come back on the weekends or every 2 weeks to home, but I never got back really. Mm-hmm. And from there, I worked everywhere in Brazil, so in many different states, many different places, and I moved companies a lot as well.
When you say states, you mean like counties?
Yeah, because in Brazil we call it states because they are bigger than counties, right?
Yeah.
So we call it different states. They have in Brazil 27
states.
States, so across the country, and I moved a lot. And Isabella, in the sense, she's very different because she always lived in the same place, right?
The same house.
The same house.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I've just moved when I got married, so.
Yeah, the first time she moved is actually when we got married.
Yeah, exactly.
When we met, actually, she was in São Paulo, where we live, my family also live, but I was living in Rio. It's like 700 kilometers away. So it took us a lot of time to meet the first time, because we met through my friend and her cousin. Yeah. They got married, and from them then we get to know each other, right? Yeah. So one day I was at her cousin's house, in my friend's house, right? And then her cousin said, well, I have a cousin that she likes this kind of stuff you like. I said, what is that? I said, this Jesus stuff.
Right. Okay.
because they don't profess the same religion. And then she said this. I said, okay, interesting. So let's get it connected, right? Then okay, I'll give you Facebook. And then is how we start communicating via Facebook. And from the first message, let's say, until we actually see each other for the first time, it was almost a year. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So your cousin. So how did that work then? Did you just say like, oh, just start messaging it? Did you just message her out of the blue, or was it your cousin who introduced you?
Oh yeah, he just introduced himself.
Just out of the blue.
Hello, I'm Raphael.
I know your cousin.
I know Cadu and Fernanda. They told me about you, and I would like to know you more. You're like, what? And then we start chatting by Facebook. And then sometimes he said, oh, I'm going to São Paulo. Can we meet? Okay, just let me know. And then when he came to São Paulo, so I cannot meet you today. So sorry, next time when you come. And he was,
he just continued.
Yeah.
Did you have like video Zoom calls, Skype or anything? No, just messages.
No, just messages. I think.
Messages,
Yeah.
yes.
Really.
That time WhatsApp was not live.
No.
So yeah.
Yeah.
It was 2015. 2015, because this year we completed 10 years together. So it was March of 16. So yeah, it took almost 1 year to meet each other, and then we start our relationship.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and here we
that
are.
is an interesting, unique.
From Brazil to Singapore and to UK.
Yeah.
What is next?
well, it's interesting. So, because you talked about how you met, but like, you know, I would say, so you got together, you met each other the first time. You obviously liked what you saw, and you were kind of like, you kind of knew each other already a little bit and everything. So, I take it in the time you're living in Brazil, you got married, and then when was it Singapore then you went to after that?
Okay, so the timeline is something like this. So we got married in April 2018.
Yeah.
Right? And in February 2019, so 10 months later, I started working for the company I'm working today.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, I had to move.
Yeah.
So I went to another state, which was 600 kilometers from where we were. And we stayed almost 1 year apart, in the sense that I have to go on Monday morning and come back on Friday.
Facebook again.
Yes, mostly. We had this plan that she would move there.
Yeah.
But of course, in order to do that, she had to find a job where I was, right? Eventually, it didn't work. Today, we know why. Because when I completed 1 year in this company, she got pregnant maybe a couple of months before. And my daughter, she was born also in April. Coincidentally, exactly in the same day and the same time that we got married, on the 30th of April. So my marriage and my daughter's birthday exactly the same day.
That's good timing.
Yeah.
And when she was on the 6-7 month, my boss told me, hey, so your wife is in São Paulo. She's married. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
He looks at people's personal life and this stuff. He say, do you want to start like staying 1 week in São Paulo and 1 week you come here?
Yeah, right.
I say, okay, that's nice. And then I moved to 2 weeks in São Paulo and 2 weeks there. And then eventually I said, because it's getting close for you to do the baby, right? I was renting a flat in Belo, is where I was, it's a city called Betim. I say, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I will stay on Airbnb for the time being. So I finished the contract. And a couple of weeks later, what happened in 2020, beginning of 2020, COVID.
Yes, right.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Right? So at some point, I went back to Sao Paulo, and everything after
Shut
Carnival,
Yeah.
is like March.
Yeah, February, March.
So they closed everything, so you can't leave your home, blah, 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 you can't travel, so...
But that was great for you
Back at-
guys, right?
yeah,
For us, was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't mention, but we see how God works. Because when he was in Betim, the other city, I was trying to find a job there. I've got an interview for a very huge company there, and I didn't pass on the interview.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, why I didn't pass? I thought that I had a very good interview. And then I think 2 months later, we discovered that I was pregnant. So
Yes.
Yeah.
was not,
Yeah.
God knows everything. And after that, COVID came and he was back to São Paulo again. So
That's
yeah.
great, yeah.
So we see the God's hand, guiding everything, and now we can understand everything that happens.
And then Singapore so was that something you were offered, or was it something where they kind of said, well, you've got to go?
Well, the Singapore chapter, let's say, was because I started specializing in this company. I started specializing in a specific kind of project, which is e-houses, right? For what we call FPSOs. It's basically a floating oil rig.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So in my company, they provide the electrical part of it. That's what we call e-house. So I started specializing on this. So I was in a huge project, and then I got a second project, and then came a third project with 2 of these units. And the main customer was in Singapore. And then my boss came to me and say, Raphael, of course, you're going to be leading the project. But one of the customer's requirement is that we need to be more present in Asia.
Yeah.
So would you be willing to go? I said, yes, but what do you mean go? He say, yeah, we need to think, because at that point we didn't know. So can you go stay 1 month there, 1 month in Brazil, and then 1 month there, 1 month in Brazil? Because I've been at that point, I've been to Singapore many times.
Yeah.
I knew the drill. I know the drill. It's very hard. So as she said, it's almost 30 hours travel, and then you have 12 hours time difference.
Yeah.
So the jet lag, sometimes it takes a week for you to get used to. So if I have to do this every month, probably at some point, my health wouldn't be very good. I would have other problems. And of course, that would mean that I'll have to stay 6 months away from home.
Yeah, well,
right?
I get it.
So
with Isadora, that she was like 3 years already, and I was pregnant. I got pregnant.
Again.
Yeah, in the middle of all of this.
So you're kind of, well.
She was pregnant. And then I told my boss, if I have to go, so I would rather move with my entire family. So we have, of course, this discussion before.
Yeah.
And we decided that if that's the way that the company wants to, we accept. And that's how we end up going to Singapore. We're supposed to go in the beginning of 2023. But because she was pregnant, right? She said, well, where do you want to have the baby? She said, I want to have the baby close to my family, especially my mom, who helps a lot. So we had to wait until April when my boy came. And then we wait another 3 months to take all the vaccinations and all this stuff. I think it's very important. And then we moved to Singapore in August 2023.
Yeah.
And from August 2023 up to February 2025, so we were in Singapore. And then we moved here.
Yeah.
But Singapore was amazing.
Amazing.
It was really good.
So then you talk about coming to the UK. So what was that? What was the trigger for that? Was that again another project now for the UK?
Going to Singapore was a kind of a project. So I know there is a beginning and an end.
Yeah.
And when that ends, means that I have to go back to Brazil.
Yeah.
Right. And the current situation in Brazil is not the best, let's say.
Yeah.
So when I was in Singapore, I've met a lot of people in this project. So I actually met the people, the guy who hired me here in one of these projects. All right. So we know each other for working together. So came the opportunity that I said, do you want to come and to stay here with us indefinitely in the UK?
Right.
So for us now is I have like 5 years visa, which is the skilled working visa. Mm-hmm. So it's already giving me a span of 5 years. We don't know what's going to happen next, but it's 5 years. It's not more 2 years or 1 year and a half or whatever. So although if you ask me, so which place you'd like you like more, I would say it's Singapore.
Yeah, really. Is that the same for you as well? Yeah.
Yeah, because although it was a lot harder for us to adapt there than for us to adapt here, right? As she mentioned about our daughter, she had problems at school in the beginning. Yeah. Here was kind of smooth, to be honest. Yeah. But there, we had, let's say, more infrastructure.
Yeah, I think
Life
so.
was harder for me, to be honest, because I worked a lot there.
Yeah, he used to work with the Asia time zone and Brazil time zone. So
for me,
12 hours working, so it's tough. Yeah.
For me, it was very hard working. Yeah. But for her, it was much better. Yeah. For my family, overall, was much better. She didn't she didn't work there, so she was focused on the children and other stuff. And when I mean other stuff, is a lot of about God stuff. So we have a lot of things going on at the church there. We have a lot of things at our home that we open our house for meetings and for all this stuff. So in this sense, Singapore was nicer than here.
And we cannot forget to mention about the weather, of course.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying. It's like you don't have to.
In Singapore, I think because of the weather, it's summer every day. So I think that for our childs, I think that it's nice, because it rains a lot as well. But I think that because we cannot face this kind of -2, feels like -7. So it was really nice. I think that the lifestyle there for us, this sense, it was better, but
So why rugby then? You've been in London yourself a few times, and why rugby?
Well,
the company is here,
The company is here, but still I could live elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because it's a hybrid working scheme, so I could be living elsewhere. There are a lot of people that work in our office that live in other cities, right? But particularly for me, I grew up in a big city. São Paulo is like, I don't know, 10 million people. Mm-hmm. So I've always lived in big cities. I loved London, but at this stage in my life, I don't need that anymore. So I'm very happy actually to be in rugby, and rugby being this calm and small town. I like this, right?
And I think because, that
to a certain
for
extent.
me was like, that I used to live in São Paulo, and then I went to Singapore. It's everything huge, technology. So yes, and then I come to rugby, and when we arrived here, it was, I think, the peak of the winter, end of January. Everything was,
dark.
I was like,
shock.
God, what I'm doing here? And I was like, so depressed, because I had a lovely experience in Singapore. I have met so many, friends. And when I came here, so this small town, everything closed on Sunday, 4 p.m. is everything, closed. And then I was, what I'm doing here? So I think that God has, want to treat my heart. want to teach me something that I haven't learned so far. So, but it's interesting because people say, no, you're gonna see that is much better living in a very small place, very calm place, because, and I think that is a 1 year that we are living here. So now I can understand a bit more when people says that it's nice, because it's really nice. We can have everything here. But that I'm missing the very huge shopping malls to go and, but I think that is good also for raise our child. So I think that it's not easier, because it's never easier, but I think that it's much better rather London, for example.
How do you feel sort of God's kind of directed your marriage kind of, for that journey from Brazil to Singapore and over here?
It's interesting because we can see God hands guiding us in every step that we go, because every time that we face some situations that we have to make a decision, we pray, and we ask God to show us what we have to do. And when we went to Singapore, God made everything go smoothly. Everything happens with no stress, with peace. What the Bible says, the peace that we cannot explain.
Yes.
And then we went to Singapore, and everything that happened there was amazing. God guided us there. And then when this opportunity, came up, we prayed, because we also had two choice to come to the UK or go back to Brazil, or we could also go to, for example, France. And then we pray, and then we say, God, we want to do your will. And then it's like God holding us and guiding us in every single day. So every time that we have to do some choice, we just pray and ask for the God provision, and He provides everything.
Something that is very practical to me, and we share this. Sometimes when we need to take a decision, like for instance, coming here to the UK or not, or going elsewhere, I always says that I don't need two alternatives. I don't need two options. I always says to God, God, please, just give me one.
Right.
Then I want to make a mistake. If you allow me to choose, I'm sure that I'm going to mistake that. So please, just open one door. I don't need 10 doors. I don't need two doors. Just give me one. Right? And this is how we're doing our life as a couple. So you said, how are you doing your marriage? Well, our marriage is actually something that is coming from our faith, because we met because of that. Because of we share the same faith. We go to church. Back then, she used to go to one church. I used to go to another church, different churches. I was Baptist. I'm still Baptist. Right, so it's a very traditional church. She is from a neo-Pentecostal church, which is very different in terms of how we see the gospel and stuff. And if it wasn't for God, we wouldn't be a couple, actually. And from that, as she said, everything, of course, the hardships in life, they comes. But because we always praying for God to give us a direction, to show us the next step, things are going smoothly for us. For instance, when we went to Singapore, I never asked anything. It was things that start happening, like piece by piece, beat by beat, and eventually we went there. Well, it wasn't something that I said, no, I want to do it, and I planned for that. No, God, He makes His way, and for us, was good. Things that we see God working on our lives. For instance, when we went to Singapore, because I changed and I moved a lot in Brazil, going to all the cities, living in different places. One thing that I learned is that for wherever you go, the first thing that you need to find is not a house, is not to rent a car, is to find a church, right? So when I was going to Singapore, before we moved as a family, I went there a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I found a church. Okay, so that's the church that we are going to go. Okay, and then everything that we decided as a family, it started from that point. The place we lived, right, it was really across the street. So there was a condo, a huge condo, just across the street from the church. So I said, this is the condo that I want to live. So we rent a place there.
Yeah.
Right? Then we start going there, and then from that church, it was called International Baptist Church. There was a lot of Brazilians there, and then at some point, a couple of months later, they created a Brazilian church, a small section of that,
Right.
and then we start going to this church, and a lot of nice things happened.
Yeah.
From there, and when these things happens, you see that God is really guiding you.
Yes.
You know, when you put Him first in our decisions, right? Things go smoothly.
Yeah.
Again, it's not easy. We had a lot of problems in Singapore with my daughter. My work was really hard to work there. As she said, I work in the morning and work in the evenings.
Yeah.
It was really a tough time. But in everything that we see God's hands.
Yeah.
Here, it's the same.
It's the same. Exactly the same.
It's the same. Again, things that we need to find first. A church.
Yeah.
Right? So we went to 3, 4
4
different
churches, yeah.
until we come here. And we came here first time, then we come a second time. And then I see Andrew being very tough, let's say, on the word.
This is the church that I need. Yeah.
That's the kind of church that I like it. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I said, no, that's where we're going to stay. And she's agreed.
Yeah.
You know, she said, no, that I really like the church. And we've been very welcomed here.
Yeah, since for the first time, yeah.
It's not a big church, so it's just...
Yeah, you guys have got very, very quickly got involved as
Yes.
well. You know, you're singing now.
Yeah,
Bella, aren't you?
singing, and I'm
You've
part
got some
of the,
worship.
kids ministry as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm working for Nathan.
Yeah.
No,
But I
it's
think
good.
that now we have the life group in our house as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
that it
Yes,
runs-
that's right. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're in life groups.
One
here as well,
Tuesday
yeah.
per month, right?
Yeah.
So, and we did the same in Singapore. When we choose the apartment
Yeah.
that we live at there, it is a huge apartment with a huge
Yeah.
living room, and we had, I think, many gatherings there with the
Yeah.
people of God. I also was part of a ministry in Singapore. It's like it's called Coffee Plus. It's a woman gathering.
Yeah.
We don't have a denomination, but yeah, we just talk about the word of God. And every Thursday we used to meet there. So my house, it was more than 30 women, together and praising God, studying the Bible. So, and when we came here, we thought the same.
So did you manage to
want
find
to
a
open
big
our
enough
house.
here, or?
Yeah, so yeah, we open our...
How's it
It's
feel?
It's not so
as
big,
as
as big as Singapore, but yeah,
but
I think
still,
that
yeah.
I think that we have got 14, 15 people already
Yeah,
from
managed to get
the
people in.
church.
We really hope you enjoyed the first part of that interview, so be sure to keep an eye on your feed and tune in when it's released.